So today I am going to be teaching you how I draw my portraits for my paintings. And then in a different video I'm going to show you how I paint them. But for now we're just doing the outlines, and I'm going to teach you the easiest way and the best way that I know how. I used to think that it was kind of like cheating, but now I don't really know any other way. It's so much easier to do it this way. So what I like to do, what I'm using right now is the screen for my laptop. Typically for something this small, it's smaller than my hand. Typically I would use my phone, but I'm using my phone to record. So right now I'm using my laptop screen. You just got to be careful. And the photo that I'm going to be using is a self-portrait. It's best that you use a photo that you have taken yourself so that you don't have to deal with plagiarism and, all that fun stuff. So, yes, there's a filter. Yes, I'm okay with that. But I really liked the darks, the shadows, the lights. So this is the photo that I'm going to be using. And I used to always have a really hard time painting or drawing myself. But that was before I figured out that I could just trace it onto the paper. It was like a light screen. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it. But all I'm going to be doing is tracing the basic outline of everything, and that's going to help me a lot. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold it down as firmly as I can without hurting the screen. If you're going to do a bigger painting, like a much bigger painting, it'll be easier for you to get a projector. I also have a projector, which I can show in a different video. But that's a really good way to do big paintings for sure. So I'm just gonna trace out the face for now, and it's gonna look weird. I promise you, it'll look better once you paint it. It's gonna look really kind of freaky looking after you trace it all out, because there's not gonna be any shadows, there's not gonna be any highlights. The pupils aren't gonna be colored in, so it's gonna look kind of demonic. And then the teeth, I always hated drawing teeth because they always look so weird when they're not shaded in. Hopefully it's not too dark. I don't have my light turned on for this video because I wouldn't be able to see underneath my paper. I messed up. So this is not hurting my computer screen, but you do want to be careful. You don't want to press too hard. For something like this, I like using my phone because there's a protective screen on the phone. So I feel a little bit better pressing a little harder than I do on this screen. You don't want to go ruining a $1,000 laptop. Although this one's like, I don't even know, 6 years old. Okay, as you can see, it looks pretty funny looking, but it makes it so much easier to know exactly where the nose starts, exactly where the eyes are and how big they are, because, I mean, even people that went to college for art have a hard time figuring out exactly the placement of certain body parts, because everybody's different. And it's always hard to know exactly how big something is. I mean, you can see it in front of you, but even if you're just a tiny bit off, it's not going to look like that person. That's what I always had such a hard time doing back in high school, and when I didn't have a good screen to work from. Not that I'm like super old, but back in the late 2010s, phones weren't great. I mean, they're not as great as they are now. And neither were the cameras. So it's nice to have a good camera. It's nice to have a good light, a good screen. So this is the basic outline of what I'm doing. It does not look at all like the picture, but I promise you that it will. Oh, I forgot to do the lips, that's why. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I did the teeth, and now I'm gonna do the the lips to make me look a little less freaky, but it's still gonna look kind of freaky. But I mean, you don't want to go shading in anything because, well, I mean, if you're doing it in pencil, then sure, go ahead, but that is not what this video is for. This is for watercolor, although you could do it in most paints. But anyway, this is how it came out. This is what I'm hoping that it'll look like by the end of the next video. And, well, there might be a couple videos, I suppose. We'll see how fast I go. Usually, for something like this, it takes me about, I don't know, 2 hours-ish to do a portrait. But I've always had an issue getting things to look right with self-portraits. I don't know, my face is just weird, I guess. But anyway, so this concludes the drawing portion. And I hope that it helps a little bit. I mean, I know it seems kind of obvious, but it helps a lot. I mean, it helps with especially portraits, but it also helps with flowers. It helps with, you know, like this background here. Like if you were to do mountains or let's see, I haven't done this one yet, but I took a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge. It would help a lot to have some kind of you know, thing to trace from because of all these little lines in the bridge. But I mean, basically anything is a heck of a lot easier if you have some kind of help. Even the best artists use help sometimes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it helped. I will see you soon. Bye.